22 and a half. 22 and a half. Sold right there, $20. Say it again.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from GingerChickRehab. I am so glad to have you back checking out what Chris and I are up to. So in today's adventures, me and Chris and I, however way you want to say that, we went to a humongous auction. So we are going to share our haul with you along with a little bit of the video of what they had. Oh my goodness, you will not believe it. That's in great shape.
Still got doilies in it too.
Yeah, great.
So that look wrong?
No. It's in great shape though. Now the furniture was absolutely beautiful, but you can tell that is not the furniture that we are going to make over here on our channel. So a lot of it Chris had to let pass by as he was the one bidding on the furniture, but oh, there's just so many beautiful pieces. Going back to the truck.
Yeah, I'll meet you back around here.
Okay, I'll just video right now where there's no people. If they had one of something, they had 100 of something. Now y'all know I have high hopes of getting those two, at least that oval one. So I'm just going to apologize now because I know my camera was going as fast as my eyes. There were so many collections to see. I will insert the pictures off of the auctioneers Facebook page where we got to study the pictures, but they are completely different once they got them all set up in the barns to auction them off. Then maybe I can give you a little bit closer peek. I just have to share most of this with you. It was the most amazing collections I've ever seen in my life. And maybe you all have been to auctions like this, but this is the biggest one I've ever been to. Hold on.
Insulator.
Oh, I like that butter trim better. I'll try to go a little slower. I'm never going to be able to see everything.
No.
not guard duty for like special while being at home. She doesn't want to bid on the crap, so I got it.
Yeah. No, black.
Look at the beans.
I'm squeezing behind you.
Guys like us.
Well, don't get too close.
Same name, same squeeze.
Why you keeping me waiting?
Are you on guard duty?
Yeah, for the wife.
Hey, you're nice then.
She got
I don't-
about 150 of them. So I'm here to get more.
Oh, you want the pipers. Hey, we collect what we collect.
Yep.
And if you can get one different than this.
Definitely.
There's another.
Look at all this cast iron. I'm trying to go slow.
The mini hats.
We heard a rumor that they actually used all these oil lamps to light up their house. I guess there was a lot of soot on their ceilings. Whew.
Let's see. We don't even have to.
Yep, I can. It's busted. And they let water freeze in it, looks like Lucky. Got a throw foot.
Guess I still wanted to show you this area. This must be the area that they didn't consider some good treasures, so they had it out on the lawn. And oh my gosh, there was just so many buildings. We have one more building to finish up with the collections in it that I'm going to share with you before we show you our haul. But I just had to show you how much stuff was in this auction. But wait, there's more. I don't know how much they can see on video because it's so dark. There's nothing I can do about that. Oh, there's my load of spools. I don't know if I can. It might be a little dark.
Looks a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Chris can help with some adding some light.
This is a shame, I'm not having this stuff out here with
Mustache mugs. All those mustache mugs. He is good. And the green crack pool.
42 and a half, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, $40 right here, number 27 got it. They're rolling. Now 9, 9 now 10, 10 got me 10, 10, 10, 10 now 11. $11 when you go 11 now 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12.
So yes, Chris and I went to a humongous auction, as you could see in the video. If they collected one thing, they collected 100 things, and they had multiples of that. Now, I've shared on my channel before that this is the first season I've ever been able to go garage sailing. So which also means this is the first time I've really gone to auctions. Now, we share, we have a little local one that does a weekly auction, is a little bit smaller. This one, I was a little bit overwhelmed and intimidated. It was quite large, but as I shared with you all in the video, wow. And I know a lot of people don't always want to see, they want to see what I got, and that's not necessarily what was at there, but you had to see that stuff. Oh my goodness. And yes, Alex felt like, since, you know, working in an antique mall, that it was going to go rather high, and yeah, he was right. But there's still some things that I could bring home with me. Definitely one of those types of auctions definitely brings in people from bigger cities, and I mean, it was just huge. They had 3 to 4 auctioneers going off at a time. My head was spinning. I could not, my mental health could not handle that. Yeah, because there was tables you wanted, you know, places you wanted to be to try to bid on this stuff, but there was places here, and oh yeah. So I ended up not making it through the whole auction. They were getting into the glassware, and I knew that there was nothing that I was going to be able to afford to buy, but it was fun to go and check everything out. So I will share with you what I got. So right off the bat, they had a section, it was just all over the place. So there was a basket, and what, you know, at auctions, what they do is when it doesn't sell, then they keep adding and adding things. And anyway, so I did get some spools, y'all. You know, imagine that. So their lowest price bid at this auction was $5. So I got all these for $5. So I thought that was a wonderful price. Along with that $5, I got this little basket that it's a little warped, but it'd be cute with flowers and displayed with this little leather strap in there. And then this tin. This is one of those older annual company outing. So I've done these, I've actually painted these up before. And then another little tin. So I got that all for $5. And there were some baskets that were a little worse for wear, and some really old shoes that were in there. I'm not going to share that with you. And then some twined up yarn that was a little scary. You know, you all know, if you go to auctions, you know that they just keep piling stuff on. So then they made their way to another table, and it wasn't really anything I wanted. But it was fun to watch. So then I picked up a cat lamp. I love these lamps. I love to resell them to you all. So I picked this one up for $5. Nobody else wanted it. I think they were saving their money for other things. There were probably, did y'all see all those pie birds? The pie birds, I swear it took like a half hour for the pie birds to sell because they started off like, okay, so you get your pick at a certain price and $22.50, I think, for one pie bird. And so people were picking out what they wanted. They had a whole bunch. And so they kept doing that until nobody was picking anymore, going down the price. You know, then they re-auction it and would go down like the price, and then it was $17.50. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna get down with these pie birds. They were way cool. I just learned this season that what a pie bird actually was. And then they ended up selling the lot at the end when everybody picked out everything they wanted. So that's how that whole auction was going. And of course, most of the time I was just waiting to the end. But I did pick up another thing nobody wanted. It was a hanging, yeah, so this was, like I said, the lowest bid was $5, so maybe I was really cheap, but I'm good with that because, you know, I just had that garage sale getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. So I just, this one hangs, and I like that. I just, you know, put some old scissors in it. It is really dusty. I'm sure that I can figure out, lint brush probably clean that up. And then they had all those juicers. Did you see the juicers with the little clown heads? Now, when I saw that picture on the internet on their auction site, I was kind of intrigued by those. But then when I got up closer, a lot of them unfortunately were chipped. But it did get down to where there was people noticed that they were chipped, so they weren't really, and then they went down price. So I think the one I got it for $7.50. And he wasn't chipped. I wasn't gonna buy one if he was chipped. So it's a little juicer. Oh, I guess he did end up having a little bit of a chip on his ear, darn it all. I tried. But for $7.50, I got the pig one. The clowns kind of creeped me out a little bit. But you know, it's just right a little bit on his ear. But it's really a neat piece. I'll take the lid off and show you. I can't really tell the maker, but there was a lot. Like I said, if they collected one thing, they collected a lot of them, and it was just, I was just overwhelmed. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a fun day. I think we did like the 10 to 2:30 thing, so that was plenty long enough. So there was that, and then they had all these containers. There was a lot of turkeys of them, and what they were bourbon containers. And nobody was really interested in them. And then when I think they went for $7.50. So the one girl grabbed one, and then she caught my eye because she had a longhorn cow. And I'm like, oh, now I gotta take a look. So I picked up 2 of them at that $7.50 price. And I know guys, don't look at that. It's bourbon. So the little heads unscrew. Yeah, there again, PG rating here, but there are bowls. They're just beautiful. I mean, look at the detail, as you see, the detail in them all. So I got that one. And then I also picked up this guy. Bourbon bottles. Oh my goodness. McCormick Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 86 proof, what? I don't know, maybe that's what it said, limited edition. 1973, so just, it's no chips, no, I know they're bowls, so my kids showed animals, so yeah, but just beautiful. So these are definitely probably more of an eBay piece than, because I think that would be a different collector. Now then I went, and then they had some pool toy, which is probably more my style. So these are $5 a piece. So this was a little cow. And then I got the sheep. And there was a couple other ones. I waited for the $5, y'all, because if I want to resell it to y'all, I want it to be reasonable. And then are y'all wondering if I bought any Crocs? I was amazed at the prices that the Crocs went for. You know, I like to thrift them. I like to, you know, I like that last video where I just wash the dirt off of it. I'm good with that. But they were going $50, $70, and they were probably worth it. And even the small ones were still going $20, $25. So I waited till they lotted them together and you could have your pick for $5. Yeah, I did. So I brought this one home. I love the handle. Whether I'll resell this, or I don't know if I have any more room in my cupboards anymore, but I like that. Sometimes you upgrade. And then there was this other one. So yeah, they had some really large ones, and they were, yeah, way more. And then one of the girls that has a booth across from us, she bought some of them, and then she had some insulators, which this is part of that. And she knows this is my color, so she said, hey, ended up buying the leftover lot for $5. So she gave me this piece. Wasn't that nice of her? So I can find something to do with that, or if somebody's interested in it. So those were the odds and ends that we purchased. And so then I'm going to take the camera down and show you what Chris purchased, because we really, with that many auctioneers going on, there was some furniture, so we couldn't really stay together. And it was amazing because we had just done that local auction, and furniture just right now is like a standstill. It's really not selling. So I'm not painting a lot of big pieces because they're just not selling. And at the auction, the first auction we went to, I mean, they're like forcing you to take it for $5. And then Chris was at the auction part of the furniture, and he said the same thing. Pieces were just going really cheap. And then even for us, we have to look at the pieces of what we know will sell. We just cleaned out, we can't have a hoard. But let me show you what he got.
All right, so Yvonne might have told you this was a huge auction. They had 3 rings going, which means there's 3 different auctioneers going at the same time, so you gotta be everywhere. It's on a 3-acre farm. I think the barn was 200 foot long, and it was just jam-packed. These people, when they say a lifetime collection, that is what they had, was a lifetime collection of everything. As you can see, birdhouses, decanters, baskets, just everything they collected, and they collected a lot of it. So I'm going through the auction while Yvonne is in the barn, and the first thing that I got was they had a bunch of tools. I do not have a belt sander, so this one I actually picked up. It was $5. It's a Craftsman. Normally you got to pay $70-$80 for a Craftsman sander like that, so that's a good deal. I plugged it in, it does work. Then they moved to a different section of the yard, and I followed them over there. I saw some neater birdhouses, and I thought, you know, if they go cheap enough, I'll look at them. Basically, he divided it in half, and he said, this is $5, that's $5. So I got all of these birdhouses that you see for $5. The other thing that attracted me to it was, as you know, Yvonne likes galvanized, so I thought, well, this galvanized pail looks nice, and it was sitting just like this. So I pulled this off, and it's actually a pump. So we will see if that works or not. And then the last 2 things that were still in this pile for $5 was this plant stand.
Yeah, and we know I like plant stands. I'm behind the camera, y'all, holding it for him.
And the last thing we got was this not so pretty sounding wind chime. It's just 10. But all of that for $5. I mean, she might have had the high prices inside, but outside the prices were very reasonable. So then while she's still inside, she wanted to get this cabinet here. Now the cabinet, all of the furniture, he would start out with, let's go 200, let's go 100, let's go 50. And it just got down to $5. So I raised my hand, I said $5, somebody else said 10, somebody said 15, I said 20, and that's where it stopped. So we got this cabinet for 20. Then right beside it was this bookshelf. No one even bid on it. So I just raised my hand, I said $5. And he said, sold. And he had 2 other things that were right beside it, and a small wooden chair and a quilt blanket rack. And he said, how about those for $5? And I said, no, those won't sell. So I got this for $5. So that is my part of the auction. A very big haul, I thought, for, I think we spent $80 total.
So guess what Chris is doing with the birdhouses? He cleaned them up as best as you can. They're going to be out in the weather anyway. So yeah, we have a lot of birds. As you see, it's kind of a little habitat back here. So he's just putting them on top of our fence post. Yep, some of them needed some new bases, but they will age with the weather. So yeah, kind of fun. Oh, plant that I haven't moved, this big zebra grass. I'd love to bring in, but such a bear to have to dig up. So, because this is behind the fence.
Well, especially since it's got
Yeah. Like Chris said, there's poison ivy in it right now. So, yeah. Well, on this one, that is actually a birdhouse that one of our kids made for a fair project. There should be another one around here somewhere. Yeah, look at what the woodpecker made the hole bigger. Apparently he wanted a bigger hole. So this is a great place for all those birdhouses. Since we took down the gardens, trying to grow grass. Yeah, good idea, Chris. Now this bigger one, he tried to get as much of the peeling wood off that he could. I painted it black and white, of course, and now I'm distressing it. I just put one coat of paint just to clean it up. It is old. It has pieces and parts of the wood left behind, so I'm just going to go ahead and distress it using the 220 grit just to take it down to, I mean, it is old, so I don't want to try to make something that's old and not perfect look perfect by trying to put paint on it. I'm just going to make it that perfectly imperfect. It is a birdhouse. And then I have these couple little grapevine wreaths in my stash, and there's that empty space. So I thought, hey, you know what? I should nail one of these on. I have actually a whole drawer of square nail heads. So yeah, see, he couldn't get all that off, so why not just blend it in using this little wreath? So yes, that little pump does work. So I'll figure out how to make it cute to cover up that foam and take off that ivy, but it's rusty crusty, so it fits in. My kitty cat wants to know what I'm doing with my galvanized. So yeah, I'd like to lift it up and I'll figure something out. So Pinterest I go with searching for ideas. So I really think just taking off this green ivy and pulling that foam out and cleaning up whatever is in there should do the trick. I don't think I need to do anything too fancy. It just kind of speaks for itself. I'm glad that it's a water feature that works. After I blow the inside out and clean it just a bit with some black spray paint. And then I don't know if this is what this stand was used for, but I got it cleaned off. I'm going to give it a fresh coat of paint and then seal it in with that outdoor metal sealer that I had for the wind chimes. And then I have a new stand for it. So I love where the birdhouse has gone for right now. It's just super cute, goes with my decor. I like that I have that hoard or stash of little grapevine wreaths. And yes, look at tucked behind my flowers is that little water feature. So I got these tins all washed up, and now I am going to spray them. Nobody wanted them. They got added into my spool grouping, but I can't envision doing something with them. Just spraying them up, giving them a little bit of wording or maybe a transfer or two. We'll see how they sprayed up. But this is actually a primer. Yeah, when I went to grab primer at Menards, this is what I grabbed, this rust color. Which is a pretty color, but it is primer. So I'm going to get these undercoat. So way that primer is covering up all the original, what is underneath, and then giving my top coat paint something to grab onto, especially when it comes to metals. And then after that primer dries, that primer's nice because 15 minutes it should be dry, but I waited an hour. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover them up white using the Farm Implement paint. I really like this. It's a little bit glossy. I'm used to matte, but it really sticks to metals really well. So I'm going to end up giving these 2 coats. I just want to make sure that I'm not putting it on too heavy, that I get any drips and runs, and then I give it enough dry time between each coat. And then for the lids, I'm just using the regular Rust-Oleum paint and primer because I don't have any of the Farm in the black. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to make black lids for these, but you can see how I do need to do one more coat, but I'm going to let this dry for a few hours. I do need to flip these over and get those little areas that just are not hit when it's upside down. I just put some contact paper, something that it's not going to stick to the board. Because they're still not completely cured, but I need to get that rest of that area that is getting missed, like these handles. Now I let those boxes dry overnight, and I just went to my Cricut, created a little something. I wanted to box it in, so I just went 2 rectangles to see what kind of outline I had. So I went ahead and picked this one, and then I just typed out some different fonts and some different words just to go along with the boxes. I ended up having to change them out only because they did not cut out very well. Have you all had that where it's just too small lettering and too small a space and it just makes it all wonky? So I did end up having to recut. I hate wasting vinyl, but it is what it is. If it's a hot mess, you can't really use that as a stencil. So now I'm just going to put these on the box. Like I'm missing one of my little corner pieces, so I guess we'll just take the other 3 out because it's probably stuck with all the vinyl I weeded out. So well, it is what it is. Who will know but me? Well, I guess, and all of you. Alex is holding the tin for me. As I'm going to remove the vinyl, I heat it back up with the blow dryer after it's dry. That way it doesn't pull off my paint. But I think because this paint is glossy, that it didn't really absorb into the other paint, so it was pulling off some of my stencil color. I tried my best to fix it just using the paint and the needle. So it's just going to be that perfectly imperfect. I'm not going to recut or try to take it off and make it into a hot mess. It just is going to be one of those pieces. There's no need to sand and distress this stencil. Now I'm going to go ahead and seal it in, and I'm actually using that exterior clear coat that I got for the outside. Since this is outdoor paint, I thought this was probably the best choice for this paint. So I hoped you enjoyed today's video and the special guest appearance from Chris. I got him to talk. What do you guys all think? So, you know, if Alex is doing it, we got to get him to talk more on video. So yes, this was a fun event. I will look for more auctions, maybe not quite as big. Baby stepped me into those auctions, but I'm happy with what we came home with, and I hope that you enjoyed. I tried to go really slow, but there was a lot of people there, so I'm sorry if I made anybody dizzy. So thanks again for watching today's video, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out our content for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we've uploaded a new video, and we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!